All right, so Coach, still perfect on the season. You guys played a little extra to get that victory up in Oregon, but could have asked a better way to start your non-league schedule as you get ready for conference.
Yeah, a great start for the kids. You know, they've been working really hard. It's a fun group. The chemistry's there. And yeah, extra little bit of bonus soccer at OIT. And everybody loves bonus soccer except for the coach. So we would have much rather have solved it in regular time. But again, it was an opportunity for this group to take another step forward, because we told them going into overtime that it was a game that we felt we had control over. It was just a game that they needed to go out and win. And great teams find ways to do that. And that was a big step forward for our girls in understanding just how good they can be when they have to be.
What is your squad's attitude right now as you guys get ready for conference? I'm sure a lot of smiles and on the faces, but what is the kind of attitude getting ready for the conference?
Again, they get along so well. You know, we're excited about traveling. This group loves to travel together. There's all kinds of shenanigans and good times happening on the buses and the vans and stuff. So they're looking forward to that, but we're also very realistic that we've now had to shut the door of what we just accomplished with the 3-0 and the non-conference start. And now we got to get ready for a very good East Bay team. You know, you got to go to East Bay, you got to play on a massive field, and it's going to be a little bit warmer, and we're going to have to deal with a lot of different things being on the road there. So this team's focused. We've got a good mix of girls that have been there before. I think they can teach the girls that are new what it's going to take to be successful this weekend, and we know we need to go and win these games.
Aside from your opponents you've had so far, once you kind of start conference play, how much more difficult competition level is this? You face pretty good teams, but once you get into league conference,
Sure.
how much of a competition level is this?
It's always a jump. It doesn't matter who you play in the preseason, because yes, we've played great teams and we've set up a very difficult preseason, but the reality is that the CCAA is the best conference in the country, and every single team can beat any team on any given day. So if you're not prepared and you're not ready to take the steps forward that you have to take as a collective unit, you're going to slip up and something bad's going to happen. So that's a message that our girls have already given to one another, the returners have. It's something that we haven't had to tell anybody, and they really believe in that. So the girls are very focused, they're working hard, and they're ready to go, and they're excited to take the next step and see what the next step's going to be.
I kind of like the way the defense is playing and getting into conference. I mean, that has to be huge, definitely when you want to post more wins.
Yeah, you know, it's a simple game. We joke with the girls all the time, but it's true. If we kick the ball in the back of their net more times than they do ours, then we win the game. And a big part of that is our back line and our goalkeeping unit. I think that, you know, we're very lucky to have two very good goalkeepers on the roster right now that push each other every single day, and we're very lucky to have a group of young women that either start or come in and play or contribute along the back line that's very talented. And they believe in each other and they work hard, and you see it all the time in training, and you see it during the day, even outside of training, as these girls push each other and they joke around with each other, and those relationships are so important to the success that we're having already.
You know, for opposing coaches, I'm sure they've seen Alex and just the start she's had, but you know, soccer team game, I'm sure you'd like to see other gals. I mean, you guys are going to need everybody on the team as well, but have you noticed anything of teams handling Alex, you know, different? Is that opening anything up at all? Or is...
Yeah, you know, I think the best chance they have is to find somebody really fast. You better call the track team and get one of the sprinters out there to chase her down. But the reality is this, is that, you know, we've got a lot of girls ready to step up and score goals. It's just that Alex has been in the right place at the right time. And, you know, if you see the video of the ball that Rose played into her, it's what we've said the entire time. As good as Alex is and as good as our front line is, the reality is that the passing of our midfield players and our wide players getting services in the box is absolutely fantastic. So it's not just how do you stop Alex Jenkins, it's how do you stop our midfield from serving balls to all of our forwards, and how do you deal with our movement of our outside backs getting forward, and just the general possession that we've brought to the game. It's a handful. I'm glad we don't have to play us, but at the same time, like I said, East Bay is a really good team. We've watched film on them. They do a lot of things that are going to cause problems for us, and then we'll start to prepare for Monterey as well.
I'd like to pick up on that question. Does Alex have any unassisted goals this year?
That's a heck of a question. I don't believe so. I think that Alex has been assisted on everything, and that, you know, she does a good job of creating things on her own, but she's so much better when she can move in space, and people are playing her the ball where she needs it. So again, it's such a team game that we're fortunate enough to play with this group. We're not a one-headed monster necessarily. We have the body of the midfield and the back line serving balls in to our forward line, and it makes a big difference when you have to deal with that. Not just one player getting the ball and running. Everything's been created with a real purpose.
And also reading between the lines. Yeah, I couldn't find any goals on the
Yeah.
products.
Yeah.
But also reading between the lines, Coach. Are your players at the stage where they're not taking those unnecessary steps that tend to slow a team down, that tend to maybe let opportunities go by? Do you feel that they're where they are, where there's no wasted motion, that they're really
Sure.
doing what they got to do
Sure, yeah.
sharply?
Yeah, one of the things that we talk to the players about all the time is every single day you got to get better. And what allows us to do that is the competition within the team. I mean, every single player on this roster can be in the travel group. Every single player on this roster could start any game. And that means that every single day, everybody's working their tails off, and everybody's going to get better every single day because of that. So the hope is always, we always want to be moving forward. I think that last week going into OIT was tough with the weather, with smoke and not being able to train that much. We couldn't get a really good rhythm just in training because we didn't really train that much because of the smoke and just health concerns. And so you look at that and you go, okay, well, what did the girls do to get better? They spent time watching film. They spent time with each other, just continuing the dynamic of those relationships. And then it showed at the end of the day, because as we go into overtime, we don't have to say anything. We give them a short message, we make a couple subs, we make a couple changes, but it's the group as a whole that wins that game. And that shows us that even in that moment where we could have been stagnant and we may not have taken the step forward that we needed to take, the group was not going to not move forward. The group knew they had to move forward, and they did a great job of doing that on their own.
And that in part addresses my next question, and it's something that you brought up, is how the ladies are handling pressure. You had a smile on your face when you were talking about that. If you would just elaborate a little bit about how
Yeah,
they handle
it's the pressure always hits everybody differently. It hits the coaching staff differently. It hits players differently based on their experiences, and wanting to win games and how we win games is an internal pressure that these girls deal with on their own every single day. So when we get into the game, we get into the moment, and it counts. They've been there inside internally every single day in training on their own because they're so motivated as individuals and as a group. So there's that part of it, of course. The other part of it that's really nice is that we now have experienced players that have been in these games. We have players that have played the top teams in the country, that have beaten some of the top teams in the country, and that understand now what is it going to take to get through the CCAA schedule, which is an absolute monster to deal with. So those players are relaying that message to the younger players. The younger players have been in big games on their own, in their younger careers of club, and now even early in their career as college players. So we're not foolproof by any stretch of the imagination. We have a lot of learning to do. We have a lot of growth to do. But we have a really cool group of kids that support each other and that love each other and that push each other through ways to manage with that pressure.
Last question, and it's something that I asked Fred about. I told Coach that I have tried to play men's soccer in the past.
Okay.
It was a lot more demanding and nuanced than I had
Sure.
ever figured out. And one of the characteristics that I discovered that if you're going to win, you need selflessness.
Yeah.
Is your team selfless?
Yeah, absolutely. Again, the sacrifices that these girls make every single day to push each other, their understanding of their role within the program, what is it they've got to do every day to make sure that we're successful at the end of the day, and then of course on the weekend, it's really clear with this group, and they're all bought in, and they know that if they play or they don't play, if they're the one that made the pass or they're the one that made the final goal, it doesn't matter because they understand how their role and their responsibility in that moment created the success that this team's had. So yeah, it's an incredibly selfless team, and when you look at the final goal on film, and we threw it online because we were so proud of it, the final moment at OIT, your 6 passes, 40 seconds of a build-up, and movement within that was so selfless, because at any point in time somebody could have made the decision to turn and go on it on their own, and realizing that it wasn't their moment and that they had to take the next step. So, again, we've got a long way to go and we've got a lot of growth to still be had, but this is a group that is a lot of fun to be around, and they care about each other and they believe in each other, and that's what results in the selfless play.
Fair to say there's not a prima donna on your team.
I don't know about that.
Okay.
No. The truth is this. The truth is this. I think these girls believe in one another, and that's where their belief in themselves comes from, and it's important. And I wouldn't say that there's a prima donna by any stretch. We may joke around with a couple kids here and there about it, but the reality is that they want to win internally for themselves, of course. But this group, more than any group that we've potentially ever had, believes in the collective good and believes in being a part of something so much bigger than themselves every single day. And that's what makes it so fun to be around this group of kids.
That's a hell of a compliment. How many years have you been coaching?
Overall, I've been coaching college soccer since 2006.
So 11, 12
Yeah.
years of coaching.
Yeah.
And you just said that this team is
It's a special group.
the most selfless.
Yeah, it's a special group.
Pretty awesome, Coach. Thank you.
Yep. Good.
Start coaching when you're